I hope that it's a massive optimization slash backend slash bug fix update. Minecraft has plenty of content now, but there are still plenty of issues with the game. Well, your wish is apparently Mojang's command, as they've just launched a beta version of their next update where they've gone after some of Minecraft's most infamous bugs, but they've also decided to solidify Minecraft's name change to Minecraft Play with Friends, as they've changed the XP bar out for this brand new feature, the player locator bar. And today we'll answer the biggest questions you probably have about this, including how do you see your XP? So this is 1.20 1.80, a brand new update which started its previous cycle despite it being a Tuesday, and I'm going to go through every single feature in this update today, so make sure you subscribe, as many other people do, not just to see the Minecraft news, but also the analysis you can only catch here on this channel. So first things first, how does this work? It's the big headline feature in the update, and Minecraft actually explained that the player locator bar will immediately turn on when there are other friends in your Minecraft world. Here is an easy screenshot they used to illustrate that we have a blue and a yellow friend based on their outfits, and on your hotbar you can see just above it, now there will be this new UI element that shows you your blue friend is over there and your yellow friend is over there. Obviously when they're in front of you, this is pointless, but if they were to go underground or further away or outside of the render distance, this would be a valuable way to know which direction you should go to find your friends. So these are the find your friend bars, and what's interesting about them is if your friends aren't within 120 degrees of you, you won't see them, so you can kind of search around your world like this until you see those dots reappear. Interestingly, these dots are something we've seen from console edition before, but it's very cool to see here, and something that exists here that never existed on console was the idea of having arrows if you're too far above or below them. So it's meant to be if you're about 30% above or below your friends, instead of showing you these little dots like it is right here, what will eventually happen is your friends will instead be seen with arrows, and oh, the arrows actually like get further away based on if your friends are a certain distance apart. Super interesting. Anyway, so this is really cool, but it raises the question of, okay, finding my friends is useful, but I also want to use experience in a multiplayer world. Maybe you hate your friends, and also you don't want to be seen by them anyway, so surely Minecraft have just made the game worse by removing a core game mechanic, except actually you can still see your XP. So if I want to see my experience, all I have to do is earn it, and for a split second after earning it, and a while before and after, you can see that getting XP will, indeed, Adoro agrees with it, getting XP will show your XP bar, and also you can still see your XP number. So now that I'm level 1, I can see that at all times, and anytime that I kill something, or breed something, or get experience, I get about 5 seconds, it looks like, of being able to see that XP bar again. Honestly, you could use this to kind of hide yourself by deliberately covering the XP bar with stuff if you wanted to, or if you wanted to hide yourself and be more deliberate about it, you have two other options. The first of these is a carved pumpkin, where as you can see, immediately as soon as one puts one on, you won't be able to see their icon, not just in your player locator bar, but also on the map. There are 3 of us here on this map, me, white, and then orange and blue over there, except, oh no, Chris has put one on too, so now I can only see me and Adorable Ho. This means that they are not visible on the map because they can stay hidden, which is a really cool feature in my opinion. I love this, it really feels like someone who cares about Minecraft put that in. I feel like this is something everyone's been asking. It's such a cool legacy feature, but even cooler is the fact that if you want to be temporarily invisible from the map without having to do so, they've actually added a use to the invisibility potion. So to show you a really quick version of it, here's everyone having 7 seconds of invisibility, and as you can see, I can now no longer see anyone's player locator on the map. Interestingly, I can actually see it on the map, but not on the player locator bar. That might be a bug, it might be intentional, but yeah, I think this is a really cool feature personally, and maybe you do too. Speaking of things I think are cool, let's throw XP at everyone, and let's talk about the fact that this was the major headline feature in 1.20 1.80, but it was far from the only one. It's just definitely the most interesting. Also, by the way, if you ever, if you are worried about like, yeah, I think that's cool, Toy Cat, this is wonderful, but I don't want it in my Minecraft world, I think this is an example of things going backwards. Well, right now, to turn this on, even in the betas and previews, you need to enable this experimental toggle, so keep that in mind, it's something very useful. But even going beyond that, there is the useful benefit of the fact that this toggle, when turned, will eventually be a toggle for everyone in Minecraft, meaning that when it does come out, you'll be able to choose never to have this player locator bar, but presumably it will be turned on by default. Speaking of things being turned on by default, they've actually made another interesting change. You might know about these animations when your hotbar comes up. This is the inventory animation, there's a similar one for opening a chest, and everything in Minecraft has this fun little animation. So these have always been able to be turned off, which you can do with screen animations, but Minecraft have made a weird decision on this. So again, to me it feels weird about the animations, but if you do turn off those animations, something interesting will happen when you go back to the main menu, because as you'll see here, I'm doing this on an Xbox, by the way, which really is the perfect way to recreate this old experience, because even though it's still called Minecraft, officially it's only Minecraft Play with Friends on Android and iOS. This is the true Play with Friends device. But yeah, do you notice something interesting about that panorama? This now counts as a screen animation, and so if you don't like the spinning, you can turn that off. Or you could conversely say, if you don't like screen animations, now your background won't spin, and it will look like the game has crashed, because even the text underneath Minecraft, you know, the preview text, even that is turned off. Except for the Marketplace button, which is illuminated as always, because, you know, they don't want to interfere with that. Speaking of things they don't want to interfere with, Minecraft have decided to finally fix one of Minecraft's most fun bugs. We were sure they were doing this as a fun little troll, but here is a fun room inside of a woodland mansion. You might know it well. It's a room that's meant to have a single oak tree and a single chest. And what's inside that single chest? It's meant to be an iron axe, and now as of this update, it actually is. It's been broken for so long, it's had every single variant of leather armor. Did a horse just fall from a high place? Leather armor, chain armor, and even now in the current update, you can get a golden apple, but the spring drop 1.20, 1.70 is the last time you can get a cursed item from your woodland mansions, and honestly, I would say go get one right now, like it's essential, but the truth is, I'm fairly sure this bug will come back. They fixed it, but for now. Speaking of fixing things for now, here's a fun thing about the player locator bar. You can actually see players even from 20,000 blocks away, but the locator gets slightly dimmer, which I think is interesting. Actually, I would actually guess that all 4 of the players in my world with me are all just over there, but for some reason we can't probably see any of them. Also, speaking of weird things, Agent Mindstorm is Stampy apparently. Huh, I wonder how that happens. Oh, I should add him as a friend. Hey, there we go. Anyway though, this update isn't just 2 features, Woodland Mansion changes and the player locator bar, but it's also, what is he doing? It's also made up of lots of other changes that you might appreciate. So if you're Chris and you're trapped on the toilet, for example, you might know that if someone hits you with a sword, you'll get critical particles, but now if that sword is enchanted, those particles will be a different color. Look at this, they're all purple, or at least a unique color. Very, very, very fun. If you ask me. Also, something you wouldn't have known was a bug but is now fixed is mangrove roots are meant to work in furnaces and haven't and won't up until 1.20, 1.80. There are lots of examples of bugs like this, but one of the most critical is one that I'll show you that was actually shown off by Ant Venom here. This is the power of 2 bug, where if you got far away from spawn in your Minecraft world, if you were at a power of 2, you could just fall through the world. But this is even worse than it sounds, because in theory, if you were nailing the, if you're doing this just right, you could fall through the world as little as 4,000 blocks away. This was insane that this bug was ever existing, but it's one of those classic, very serious issues which they've now gone and fixed. I think this update is filled with that. It really does seem like it's going to be the bug fixing update, and maybe you have the question of why, and so let me give it to you now. I've got a lot of questions. Also, oh, interestingly, when you're in third person, you see the, like, you see it from the direction that the camera's facing, not your character, and so I can see where everyone is. So strange. We've been playing around with this for a long time, by the way. There's a surprising amount of fun to be had with it. Like, for example, did you know if you crouch, you become invisible to it? Let me try and get that shown off. Intentional game design, I tell you. Yeah, best Bedrock feature ever. I agree. Anyway, here's something fun. As you can see, right now, I can't see a Durable Hoe or Agent Mindstorm because they're crouching. In fact, not only that, their actual name tags have gone slightly invisible too, making it harder to see them through my world. It's actually really, really cool the way this works, that you can see their names through stuff, but you can't see their name or their player locator if they are crouched. Isn't that kind of cool? I think it's cool. Anyway, now I think, although there's lots of bugs to talk about in this update that are much more minor, I'll give you a real quick scroll if you want to pause through them. I think at this point it's worth asking, what is this update exactly about? And is this confirmation that 1.22 is no more? Well, not exactly, but let's get into it. So an interesting thing you've probably noted about this video is it's been made on the Bedrock version of the game. This is not just a stylistic preference that represents what we do here on this channel, as it often is, although not always, but actually it's something you have to do right now if you want to play with this new feature, because it is on Bedrock only. It is going to be coming to Java soon, however, Java has just pre-released the Spring Drop, and so they're busy focusing on that. In snapshots, this will eventually be available for the Java players too, but as it is Minecraft Bedrock that is moving to being called Minecraft Play with Friends, here it is on the Android store, now matching the iOS. Basically, Minecraft is trying to become a more multiplayer focused game, and that's what this update is going to be based around. And if you're curious what I mean by this update, right now we are talking about 3 separate updates, which is very confusing, but if you'll follow me on this one, we have the Spring Drop, a completely finished update. It's feature complete and it's just rolling out over the next couple of weeks or so. We'll know the exact date and name at Minecraft Live. Then we've got the next update, which is this bug fixing focused one, and then we've got the update after that, the Summer Drop. At Minecraft Live, they will announce presumably not just what is in the Spring Drop that we already know, but not just what's in this little minor update, 1.20, 1.80, but presumably what is in the Summer Drop as well, which we're currently calling 1.22. To be fair, we have no idea if it will be 1.22 or if they'll stick to their naming system all the way up to 1.21, 1.90 or 0.100, but those are the next 3 updates that we can expect right now, and that is a very confusing way to do business. But the reason it has to be that way is that Minecraft finishes their updates weeks before they actually release them, because it takes that long to get it out onto all of the platforms. And so 1.20, 1.70 is complete. 1.20, 1.80 is presumably going to be Bedrock only, and is going to be them focusing on bugs that just need to be fixed, because Bedrock always has those. And then at the same time, perhaps in 2 weeks, we'll start to see the Summer Drop appear behind a toggle, and then it will eventually come to the game somewhere in the summer. It's probably too far away to speculate on that release date, but we do know that it's going to be announced at Minecraft Live, and that's going to be the next drop after the Spring Drop, because this update in between is not going to be a drop, it's just going to be an update for Bedrock. Okay, there you go. That should have explained all the major details. Now we can talk about the analysis of this update, and here's the spicy thing most people won't talk about. Minecraft is very, very clearly and keenly focusing on multiplayer, not just with the tricky trials and a brand new structure you're meant to explore with friends, specifically inventing new content so that you would go into vaults multiple times with each of your friends, but by specifically changing the name of the game on the 2 biggest platforms it operates on, Android and iOS. They want it to be very clear to you that if you're looking for a multiplayer game, why not Minecraft? And right now, I would say they're looking at one of the biggest flaws that maybe they haven't fixed since Console Edition, which is the idea that if you invite people to your world, it becomes often this thing where people play single player but together. This brand new feature is designed to address exactly that by making it very clear where your friends are at all time. And this is something which I think is great. I'm never going to really interact with it on a single player world. That's where I play most of my Minecraft, as I'm sure you'll know. But yeah, if you are playing in multiplayer and you prefer to play the type where you don't really get in each other's business, where you play basically single player but together, you can just choose to turn it off. And that's why I think this is a largely positive change, because I see it and I think, even though I don't want to be playing the sort of world where I'm staying joined at the hip to someone, I like the idea of using this as a, kind of another Console Edition idea. Mojang, if you want to find out ways to make multiplayer better, look to the Console Edition where people had their fondest memories. This is where you find all of the best ideas, and it makes me want to do some form of PvP world where, like, yeah, we're both thrown in a world of 10 minutes to prepare, and then you have to be cautious about, okay, if I crouch, they can't see me, but if I want to be able to sprint, they're going to have to know where I am. Having those sorts of tactics and thoughts playing out in a multiplayer world would be really, really cool, and so, yeah, I'm really excited about that personally. But as far as the feature, this is just another Minecraft move towards multiplayer being the, if not the default, then the heavily encouraged game mode, and given how much more fun you can have with that, it's something I think is great. But I also think that Mojang should keep in mind for lots of players, it is a single player game, and make sure not to degrade that experience in the slightest, because again, I think you can improve your offerings for multiplayer, but you want to make sure you do that without downgrading it for single player, so hopefully Mojang does precisely that. Speaking of what Mojang are doing, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I didn't expect them to have a brand new preview on a Tuesday is basically unheard of, and so I released a video early today talking about the next game drop and all of the features that Mojang have said will be coming at some point, and therefore if they'll be likely in that. If you want to learn about what's going to be in the Summer Drop in the next big update, 1.22, you can watch that, because apparently today's a double upload day. Very, very exciting. Also, yeah, we have news about Minecraft Live we'll share tomorrow, but for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video, because I'll see you next time. Goodbye.